Hello. Welcome once again to another edition of Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 33-year veteran of comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. It is Friday night, May 2nd. That means it's time to talk about movies and TV with my co-host, Chris Hall.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
So, everyone, come on in, say hi. And someone was here, but they left. But, that's usually what happens, right?
Right.
So,
oh no, we don't want to watch this show.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? But we had a heck of a time trying to figure out what we were going to watch this week, didn't we?
We did, yes. And you decided on straight up science fiction.
Which was not your favorite bag, was it?
No, it's not my favorite now. If I'm going to watch science fiction, I prefer horror science fiction.
Horror science fiction and corny science fiction.
Yes.
Yes. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start with The Creator, 2023. Directed by Gareth Edwards, written by Gareth Edwards and Chris White, story by Gareth Edwards, produced by Gareth Edwards, Kiwi Hart, Jim Spencer, Anand Milton, starring John David Washington, Gemma Chan, Ken Watanabe, Virgil Simpson, Allison Janney, and Madeline Yuna Voiles as Alfie. That's the key character, so to speak. Edited by Hank Corwin, Joe Walker, Scott Morris. Music by Hans Zimmer. Production companies Regency Enterprise, Entertainment One, New Regency, and Bad Dreams. Distributed by 20th Century Studios. Release date of September 29, 2023. It ran an exhausting 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Yes, exhausting.
Had a budget of $80 million, and then a box office of $104.3 million, so it did make its money back. What is it about? Well, let's see what Chris says it's about.
All right. In 2025, an artificial intelligence created by the U.S. government detonates a nuclear warhead over Los Angeles, California. In response, most of the Western world pledges to eradicate AI to prevent humanity's extinction. Their efforts are resisted by New Asia, a region comprising East, South, and Southeast Asia, whose people continue to embrace AI. The U.S. military aims to assassinate Nirmata, the chief architect behind New Asia's AI advancements, using the USS Nomad, North American Orbital Mobile Aerospace Defense, a space station capable of launching destructive attacks from orbit. A decade after Los Angeles, U.S. Army Sergeant Joshua Taylor is undercover in New Asia with his pregnant wife Maya, believed to be the daughter of Nirmata. Taylor is exposed when their home is attacked by U.S. military forces, and Maya is presumed dead after a Nomad strike. 5 years later, Taylor, now part of the Ground Zero cleanup crew, is recruited by General Andrews and Colonel Howell for a mission against Alpha O, a new weapon developed by Nirmata that could destroy Nomad. Shown evidence of Maya's survival, Taylor agrees infiltrating a compound in New Asia. Taylor finds the weapon is a robotic simulant in the form of a young girl who has the ability to control technology. Dubbing her Alfie, Taylor disobeys Howell and seeks out his ex-commander, Drew. Drew declares Alfie could be humanity's most powerful weapon. An attack by New Asia police attempting to recover Alfie kills Drew's simulant girlfriend and leaves Drew fatally wounded before he dies. Drew confesses to Taylor that the reason the military attacked Taylor's home 5 years ago is because they learned Maya is actually Nirmata, and they have been keeping it a secret from him ever since. Taylor and Alfie are captured by New Asia forces led by Haroon, a simulant soldier and former ally of Taylor's during his time undercover. Haroon states that the detonation in Los Angeles was a human error blamed on AI, who only wished to peacefully coexist with humanity. After escaping his captors, Taylor rescues Alfie as Howell launches an attack on the village. Taylor learns that Maya is alive, but has been in a coma ever since the attack, being kept on life support by simulants. Since the simulants cannot harm Nirmata, she is stranded and unable to die. One of the simulants tending to Maya also reveals to Taylor that Elfie was modeled after their unborn daughter. As Taylor takes Maya off life support, U.S. forces led by Howell arrive. They are killed by Harun, who tells Taylor Nomad must be destroyed in order for the war to end. Captured again, Taylor is coerced into killing Elfie with an electroshock weapon. However, Andrews later discovers this to be a ruse, allowing the pair to escape. Boarding a lunar shuttle at the Los Angeles Interplanetary Air and Spaceport, Elfie forces the spacecraft to land aboard Nomad as Andrew orders a large-scale assault on remaining AI bases. Taylor plants explosive, ejects Elfie by escape pod when Andrew activates a robot that prevents him from fleeing, and reunites with a simulant bearing Maya's likeness. Activated by Elfie and with Maya's memories, they embrace as Nomad explodes, killing Taylor, destroying Maya, and shutting down the missile guidance system, saving the targeted AI bases across New Asia. Arriving on Earth, Elfie is welcomed by the AI population as a new Nirmata.
What did I think of this? Well, I think it's a good film that needed another round of edits and a lot less redundancy of the plot. The story gets semi-redundant when the characters get captured, then escape, then get captured again so that they can be in the right place at the right time to conclude things. They could have had them evade capture until they needed to be captured. Shall we put it that way, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
I mean, the girl isn't just AI. She's basically an electronic EM blaster and telekinetic whose abilities and effects seemingly only get stronger as the story progresses. All the while explaining she isn't strong enough yet to do what she inevitably does anyway. I was very much wanting scenes in the film where she had maxed out and couldn't just conveniently use her powers to get out of a jam and to move the story along. I could have edited at least 20 minutes out of this film and it would have made more sense. This film had 3 editors and it still extended past 2 hours. Shows me how much the writer, director, producer abused his authority to get his quote unquote vision on the screen. The cast was decent enough. I thought Allison Janney actually quietly gave the best overall performance in the cast as Colonel Howell, but they didn't give her nearly enough to do. Just enough of a hint to possibly make the character sympathetic enough to accept her actions. She had so much more potential as a character, a lot of the characters did, and Janney certainly could have pulled that off, no question, but she kind of vacillated between being sort of sympathetic because her kids have been killed in the war, and she was like trying to get Joshua to side with her, and then she'd like flip and be like the obsessive compulsive crazy person from Avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it was like there was the writing was a little bit weird that way. A lot of these characters just seem flat. Concept was really good idea, but there's just too many visual pieces where you can see that Gareth Hines was ripping from this film or that instead of really making a film that could stand alone on its own merits and be properly and fully appreciated. And I really don't like the title of the movie. The movie isn't about any creator so much as about a creation and what people will do to either protect or destroy that creation. I'm not sure what the heck to retitle it, though. Off the top of my head, I don't really know what a better title would be. So I guess I just kind of have to let it be. All in all, it was an okay film. I'm glad you could kind of watch it. And I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it again someday if the notion struck me, but it's not ever going to be on my, say, top 100 SF films of all time. What did you think?
Well, so as far as retitling, I think The Child is taken, but I don't know, that seems like a pretty reasonable title for it.
The Simulant.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. This was a slog for me to get through. I part of it is I'm not a huge fan of straight science fiction. I like horror, science fiction, dark fantasy stuff. The film, yeah, it plodded along for me. I looked at the time on this. I'm like, oh my God, it's over 2 hours. I had to stop watching it multiple times. I fell asleep a few times. Yeah, it was just so slow for me. The effects, the acting, everything else was top notch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it plotted so badly for me. So
Mm-hmm. It
um,
was
I
it was
I
just
almost feel
so
like if they
slow.
had, yeah, I almost feel like if they had a more I hate to say this, but a more recognizable lead actor, that maybe it would have kept my interest better.
I don't know.
I mean, the lead guy was great,
Mm-hmm.
but just somebody more recognizable and somebody that had a little more personality, I guess. Um, yeah, big battle scene between American forces attacking Avatar Rogue One ish, absolutely. Never got to the reveal of who the kid was. I thought that was going to be end up being like Taylor's daughter or some AI hybrid.
Right,
Um,
and technically, as I explained, it was modeled after the unborn child. Well, how do you model it after an unborn child? I
exactly.
it didn't make sense there, but you know,
Right.
there's a lot of convoluted, not exactly correct logic in that final 15 to 20 minutes of the film, with elements contradicting what was established in the first 30 minutes, and it has an ending too similar to Rogue One, where everybody defeats the evil machine, but the heroes die at the end, except for the kid,
Right.
and it was so contrived and convoluted that they just happen to have clones of Maya, a whole room full of them for her to like plug the memory chip into the brain, and then, hey, wake up, wake up, wake up, we gotta get to
Right.
daddy. I
Yeah.
just like no. And then when they do um, get together at the end, I'm like, well, why should she even be like, oh my god, it's my lover who betrayed her? Because the last thing she remembers of the guy, he betrayed her, in her opinion, right?
Exactly. Yep.
It
Yeah.
just it didn't work for me.
No.
So
I
I gave it
oh
2.5 stars. And you?
yeah. I think mine would be the same. I just this just is not my type of movie. I will say I did enjoy the banter between Taylor and Elfie. Oops.
Whoops, you lost your camera there.
There we go.
It went
Hold on.
completely flying onto this keyboard there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oops. Come on. Let's see here. There we go.
yeah,
I did enjoy the banter between Taylor and Elfie. I thought that was
yeah.
pretty well done. Well, and
Um,
I personally didn't buy Janie as or Janny as
yeah, the Colonel.
uh, as the Colonel. Yeah.
Right. Well, I thought she did okay. Like I said, it was a quiet performance, so to speak, compared to her normal boisterousness that we used to seeing her in. I can't remember the name of the TV show she's popular on.
Mom.
Mom. Okay. Yes. So it was a little bit different there. And again, if they just given her a little bit more to go with, just stating, "Well, my sons were lost in the war," and
Hmm.
and actually explained just how much she hated it and why.
Right.
You know, I mean, you can understand it certainly, but it's like, don't tell, show. You know, and
Exactly.
um, when you're doing the kind of the same shit over and over 2 or 3 times in the film, that's kind of a waste. You could have been doing a little more character for each of these characters to explain their actions a lot better.
Well, I'm going to have to get this movie so I can edit it and make see if I can make something reasonable to watch out of it.
Mm-hmm. But again, so I gave it 2.5. You're saying even though you didn't finish it, you give it a 2.5 most likely.
Yeah, because there were parts that were okay, that were good. It
Mm-hmm.
was just way too long and convoluted and too high concept for me, I guess.
I don't think it was really too high concept. I just think he was trying to do too much, pulling too much from different aspects. Because it's partly Avatar, it's partly Rogue One, and you can just see where he's pulling different elements from those films instead of actually taking inspiration, but doing your own thing. There's a difference.
Right.
And the fact that the director is the guy who directed Rogue One doesn't help him any. So it's like, so
But it did reasonable in the box office, and it made more than its money back. So
right, yeah.
yeah.
So it is what it
if
is.
you're into sci-fi, this probably would be a great movie for you. So
Or at least one that's not a waste of your time. Let's put it that way.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So next week, what are we going to watch? Well, I'm going to surprise you.
Oh wow.
It's time to start visiting the DC Movie Vault now that I have access to stuff I haven't seen. And since you're the monster guy, we'll base it off of Mike McDowell Batman story. Next week, we'll review Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham.
I'm excited.
Yes, you are. He's like Cthulhu.
Right? Yeah.
All
Batman
right.
and monsters. You can't go wrong there.
Yes. Next week, Monday is Monday Manga with Frontier by Guillaume Thigalen from Magnetic Press. Tuesday will be our crowdfunding indie night. We have new books I just got today. We'll do new unboxings and reveal those and do some reviews as well. Thursday night will be review night, and we're going to do a little bit of catalog shopping, assuming we actually get the Diamond catalog next week. It's supposed to come in this week, but Diamond never ships anything on time to my store, it seems like. This is how dumb it was. I got the Marvel, the DC, the IDW, and the Image catalogs. Did not get the previews.
Oh, okay.
Now, I went to another shop. They got the previews, but did not get the individual ones. Number one, and they didn't get an order form, so I couldn't. There's no sense in me buying the catalog without the order form.
Exactly.
So I have to wait for my order form. So anyway, that'll be next week, and of course, we just said Friday next week with Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham, and surprise, surprise, Live Draw will be returning next weekend.
Woohoo!
So don't miss it. We'll see you next week. But one more thing before we go. Debuting tomorrow.
Saturday, May 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going live with Glass House's brand new podcast, Throwing Stones. We are going to have the fantastic and the great Mike Diodato Jr. on, talking about his new and upcoming projects and his time in comics. So please tune into that. It'll be David Campetti, and yours truly. Saturday, May 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
At Glass House Presents on Glass House Graphics channel on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I could probably get a. Oh, I can't share links, can I? But you can.
Yes, and I will do that in just a second here.
Okay. Cool.
My and
there we go.
On that. A little bit confusing there, isn't it? But I'll leave it up there for a few more minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And we're also going to be doing some portfolio reviews. We're going to be going over a cover that has perplexed David for days now. Yeah.
Days?
Oh, no, for a couple weeks now at least. Yeah. Trying to get this cover right. So,
yeah.
Going to be some cool, good stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So that'll be there. YouTube Live again tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on Glass House Graphics YouTube channel. Make sure you visit. All right, folks. If you have questions for me, contact me at Lewis.BrightRaven on Facebook, at the Muskrat X channel, at LewisBrightRaven2. You can see my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. And the watch at Quoth Raven Lewis BrightRaven exclusively on YouTube. If you have questions, comments, email me at quothravenlbr72@gmail.com. If I want to get back to you, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. And as always, you can reach Chris at Christopher M. Hall 1973 at gmail.com. And he will deliate you with purple prose. So anyway, one more thing before we go. Tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day, so be sure to visit your local comic shop and support your local comic shops.
Yep. Bring your kids.
Yep. I'm not going to be appearing anywhere, but I will be at Scratch and Spin in West Columbia early tomorrow morning with John. So if you see us there, make sure you say hello, and maybe we'll have time to chat with you a little bit about comics. Alrighty. So in the meantime, you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time with the Raven. Nevermore.
Nevermore.